So I finally finished a little game called Kirby Air Riders on the Nintendo Switch 2. How do I feel about this game? Honestly, pretty happy. I enjoyed it a lot. So let's talk about it real quick. Honestly, going back, let's go all the way back to 2003, 2004. Take yourselves back real quick. GameCube was, at the height of its popularity. That was going on. The Kirby anime had just come out right back at you. And when I got my GameCube, I picked up a little game called Mario Kart Double Dash. Now you might see right here, you see this little banner right there. It says it comes with a bonus disc. And what is that about? So Mario Kart Double Dash, not to derail too much, but it's important to the story. So Mario Kart Double Dash comes with a bonus disc that has different promo videos and, trailers and demos for different upcoming GameCube games. One of them being the original Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube. And it has a really funny commercial. Maybe I'll splice that in here a little bit. But this was my first experience seeing Kirby in 3D.
Kirby knows, if you can't beat 'em, eat 'em! Chew up the competition with Kirby as he jets through 3 gut-busting game modes and over 20 chaotic courses in Kirby Air Ride. Prepare for fast and furious racing action as Kirby hits Warp Star speed. You can even battle your friends in one of 3 hyper game modes.
If you can't beat 'em, eat 'em! If you can't beat 'em, eat 'em!
Kirby Air Ride, only on Nintendo GameCube.
So seeing that trailer, I was like, heck yeah, a Kirby racing game. I had already played Kirby Superstar a little bit as a kid. I had Kirby's Tilt and Tumble on the Game Boy. And I was just like, yeah, let's get into some 3D Kirby. I'm ready. It's time. I'm so excited. And at the time, I picked out the games that I wanted every now and then, but I wasn't getting every single release as it was coming out as a kid. For the person that I am, usually that would mean a Sonic game. But every now and then I would hop on over to Blockbuster and pick out some games for me to try. And one of them being Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube. And I was like, yes, my time has come. But for some reason, I couldn't get it during that trip, right? That one time we went, it was either rented out or I was getting something else or whatever. But I knew the next time I went back, I was like, I'm getting Kirby Air Ride. I'm going to rent it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to have a whole bunch of fun. Guess what happens? I go there and the game's not there. I was like, what happened to Kirby Air Ride? And usually, if there has been something at Blockbuster to take you back, if there's something that was on the shelf and it's suddenly gone, that probably means that somebody bought it, right? So I was like, okay, fine. I guess I missed my chance. Let me grab another game and we'll just have fun with that. Later on, I realize I go to a friend's house and they have Kirby Air Ride. I was like, oh shoot, you have the game. Like, that's awesome. Yeah, we just got it from Blockbuster. Just picked it up from Blockbuster after we rented it. We just bought it. And I was like, it was you. It was you. It was you. You are the person. Anyways, no harsh feelings there. That was just a funny story. If you know who I'm talking about, shout outs to you guys. You guys are great. After that, I kind of just forgot about it for a little bit until a couple years later when GameStop was starting to, take out some of their stock for GameCube to make room for the Wii. I saw it there on the shelf at a very, very low price. So I was like, yes, scoop it up. It's mine. I got it. And then it's history after that. The game was just so much fun playing as Kirby in 3D for the first time. For me, at least. I didn't play Kirby 64 or anything else. So it was mostly that for me. City Trial was great. Multiplayer was tons of fun. Playing with my friends is also playing with new friends that I would bring over. It was just great party game all around. I still think it holds up to this day. So if you happen to have the GameCube version, get some friends over. It's a great time. So let's fast forward a little bit. It is early 2025, and we hear news about the Switch 2 on the horizon. And at this point, you know, Kirby has had some really great games. The remakes like Return to Dreamland, Star Allies, Forgotten World, Forgotten Land, whatever it is. Great games, great Kirby games. But I was like, okay, Air Ride's probably just a one-off thing, since Sakurai has been working on Smash Bros. And everything, and it's just, you know, no chance, right? That Switch 2 Direct happens, and something that I was not expecting showed up. I was like, oh, Kirby's falling down with a star. Great, a new Kirby game. Perfect, I love Kirby. And then his star turns into that Air Ride machine, and I'm just like...
Is this Air Ride? Is this a new Air Ride game? No. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Kirby Air Ride is back.
It's a new Air Ride game. Yup. Oh my goodness, y'all. I love the original Kirby Air Ride. That's so exciting. Kirby Air Riders.
Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed? Not me. I was so excited. I was ready. It was gonna, like, that sold the Switch 2 for me. Donkey Kong Bonanza and Kirby Air Riders. I was like, done. I was sold. And look, here we are. I've got it right here. So like that happens, and then we find out there's going to be multiple Air Riders Directs just talking about everything, and I was like, man, this is really shaping up to be a great Switch 2 game in the first year. Because it's got, like, the old stuff is back, like the tracks are back, City Trials back, all the stuff you expect from the original is here. Like, you're good. And then we've just added a whole bunch of new stuff on top of it, which I was down for. I was down. Like, just for example, I think in the original, I remember it was just Kirby. You were mainly playing as Kirby, but then DDD and Meta Knight were also there. And the difference was Kirby was the only one that could swap vehicles. DDD and Meta Knight were just stuck as they are. You can't do anything with them. So Sakurai was like, yo, in this new one, everybody's customizable. You got DDD, you got Meta Knight, and you've got all these other characters, and they can all ride their own separate Air Ride machines and swap through them. And I was like, sold. Sold, Sakurai. That's all you needed to say. That's all you needed to say. That's all I needed. And then after that, he's like, there's more. He's like, you've got a single player mode too. You got a whole story to work with. And I was like, how many times can I say I was excited, you know? So the game drops, and I have started this interesting habit now, which is kind of the reason I'm making these videos, just to kind of track my progress. But I'm starting to really only focus on one single player game at a time, unless I'm on stream. And it's just like, you know, I only have so much time. I'm an adult. I do too many adult things, responsibilities, things like that. And it's just like, if I play too many games at once, I'm not finishing any of them, you know? So I'm like, I'm going to sit down on the couch. Spear sees me. She sees me all the time. I'm just like, finish this one game before I move on to the next one I really want to play. So Kirby Air Riders comes out. I grab it. But I'm still playing Pokemon Legends ZA. And ZA is a great game. It has its flaws. It has a lot of flaws, especially with the DLC. But I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed my time. And I was like, I really want to get through as much of this as I can before I get back to Kirby Air Riders. Because I knew Kirby Air Riders was like, it wasn't going to take me a whole lot of time. So I finished ZA. I finished the DLC. And it's around, end of January, beginning of February time frame. So I'm like, let me get back into Air Riders. Let me get back into this road trip mode, and just see what's going on. When I first got the game back in November, I had just done like an hour of road trip. I just went to see what it was all about. I didn't really go through a lot of it. So after that, I was like, put it down. I'll come back to it later. So then fast forward like 2 months, I come back to it. And I really dig into road trip, and I honestly really enjoy it. I I like the whole different progression system with the multiple paths, and it's like each environment feels different, and you get a lot of Kirby lore that I really didn't expect in a game like this. You know, how the whole Zora thing happens with Gigantus and everything that comes towards the end of the game, and how I like how it builds a story with like why all these different machines are here. It's not just a fun racing game. There's like a different, like there's a story behind it, and I really enjoyed that. And then plus just City Trials back. Like I love City Trials so much. Just exploring the city, grabbing as many vehicles as you can find, seeing all the different quirky events that happen. It's great. It's just as good as the original, and they just sprinkle in a little bit more on top of that. So as the game goes on, I go through Road Trip, and I'm like, nothing, as a single player experience, there's not a lot in the other modes that I really want to do, you know? I do top ride every now and then. I do air ride, just, you know, just to get some practice in. I don't really mess with online too much, but I do City Trial, of course. And I'm just like, you know, I'd play this for maybe like 5 minutes, and I just move on into Road Trip. And I think, honestly, that's something with the original as well that really sparked in my head again. These are great multiplayer racing games, great multiplayer experiences. But as for single player, I think it kind of gets repetitive very quickly. I think that's the thing with a lot of racing games for me. Because I like to think about the big racing games of 2025, right? Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Kirby Air Riders. And, you know, going through those initial single player experiences, I had a lot of fun. And then after that, you know, Spear or Kel will tell you, it's just like, I don't really touch it unless we're all playing together, you know? I don't know if that's just me, but like I don't really play racing games on my own. It's really a big multiplayer thing for me. So I think that's something that kind of translated into Kirby Air Riders as well. So I guess really this isn't really a full like review or anything like you would probably expect. I just kind of wanted to be off the cuff and just kind of share my thoughts. Whether or not people want to watch this, it's fine. It's kind of more just for my own personal journey through all the games that I'm playing. But just kind of thinking overall, I don't know if I'd pay full price for Kirby Air Riders. If you can get it on sale, I definitely recommend it. It's a great party game. So like if you've got the Switch 2 on the big TV downstairs, want something to play with your friends, kind of switch it up from like the usual Mario Kart or like Smash Brothers or something, this is a good one to try out. It adds a lot of fun stuff. The vehicles are very fun. That's the other thing about Road Trip. It kind of encouraged me to explore more vehicles, more than I normally would have. You know, since the other modes kind of move very quickly, and it's like you don't really think about some of the decisions you make. In Road Trip, I was like, ooh, what if I try this with this combination and this vehicle and see how that works? And I was actively like, you know, testing stuff out, and it worked out very well. Yeah, I'll say that. And in terms of progression, I did one run of Road Trip. I didn't really do any more than that. I didn't go for the true ending or anything. I was just kind of like, just do one of them just to see what it's about, and maybe I'll come back to it later. And I think that's a good way of viewing this game for me. I think, you know, just come back to it every now and then when I can. But it's not going to be one of those games where I really like grind out all the unlockables or everything. It's not something I'm interested in. But I do appreciate what this game did, and I do see myself coming back to it every now and then. So yeah, I think I will leave things there. Kirby Air Riders. I think it's a great multiplayer experience. So if you have a lot of people that play games with you often, and maybe come over for some couch co-op, I think that's a great experience to have on your Switch 2. You know, because honestly, for first party games, there's not a whole lot. This is February 2026. at least for me, the big ones are Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, and Kirby, and probably Legends of ZA also, at least until some more stuff starts coming out this year. So I definitely keep an eye on Kirby Air Riders if you can find it. But yeah, I think I'm going to call things there. This is kind of just a first little test of something I want to try doing. I've been, streaming games, of course, as some of you guys have been seeing. But I also play a lot of games on my own, off stream. Usually with Spear, just on the couch, just hanging out. And I'd like to kind of document some of my experiences playing those games. For the stuff that you guys don't see on stream. So if that's something you're interested in, or if you're just stumbling on this channel for whatever reason and happen to enjoy listening to me yap for 10 plus minutes, feel free to stick around. I'll try to keep doing these as I can. Like I said, I tackle one game at a time, so it'll be kind of nice to kind of go through all of it and then just kind of sit down and just get my thoughts out, The next one, the one I'm playing right now that I've started since I finished Air Riders, is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. So I'm very excited to talk about that one. But yeah, that'll be it from me. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me know what kind of games you're playing. And if you have any other games from your childhood that you kind of missed out on, kind of like my Blockbuster situation. So yeah, that'll be it. Be good to yourselves, play some fun games, drink some water, and don't work yourselves too hard. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace.